Well, here's the petition, and here is Sam and Rebecca from Health Infrastructure New South Wales. This is a division within the Ministry of Health, and these guys are going to build the Eurobodalla Hospital. And there's a whole bunch of important processes which need to be worked through in terms of building a new facility. These guys are the experts. They've already built or redeveloped 78 new hospitals in this term of government, 48 of them, of course, in regional New South Wales, which is very pleasing. Guys, I just think, just given what the community have been asking of me in the last week, it might be worth just clarifying a couple of things. I've said publicly that there is a very important process that you follow in terms of location, and obviously the timing of that. The community also want a reference group set up led by Michael Holland and Katungal Health and a number of other important players in our health space. But from your perspective, what is the process now so that the community knows that there is a process and ultimately how a site will be located in the Shire?
Thank you, Minister. Look, we have a really well-trodden path now to how we go about planning hospitals. We call it How to Build a Hospital, and feel free to Google How to Build a Hospital. We've got some great clips. There's a bit of a video on our website that'll explain the processes that we take. But to give you a bit of an edited highlights, the local health district will spend the next little while consulting with all of you to talk about the real health needs, and so we have a very clear view now, but that's a piece of consultation that will now go on for the next little while around making sure we have the right clinical services that are going to be delivered in the new facility. And then in terms of location, that's kind of the next piece of the jigsaw puzzle, and so what the team will begin to work up is then a set of criteria that makes sense for the site, and so that'll be looking at what's the right place in terms of transport networks, where's the best land in terms of ensuring the most number of people can get to it. We know flooding and all those other things. We need to have a look at all those pieces of land to ensure that but we're not just going to go and pluck a piece of land. We're going to work up a set of criteria, ensure everybody's happy with the criteria, and then we'll follow a very well-trodden process to then assess and call for expressions of interest around which pieces of land meet those criteria best.
So Sam, Rebecca's going to be leading that charge.
Absolutely.
But, I mean, obviously a central location for a shire that's the length with the towns of Narooma, Maruya and Batemans Bay and all the villages surrounding those major towns. But proximity to utilities, fire services, obviously land that could be expanded on into the future. I think if there's any failing in terms of the existing hospital sites, it's both sites are landlocked. In terms of the Batemans Bay and Maruya hospitals. So obviously a fairly good sized parcel of land which is fairly flat helps in that regard. So,
but not too low.
Not too
low.
Not too low. Yeah, so we don't want water views from within the hospital in the future, but I think the key element is how we engage the community on that process, and this is run by Health Infrastructure, of course. It's Absolutely. Not run by council or anybody else.
No, this is our day-to-day job. This is what we do for a living. As you mentioned, we've had the great privilege to deliver 78 facilities across the state already, ranging from some fairly small things to some big things. You know, Bega, the regional hospital down there, award-winning actually in terms of the outcomes from a built form perspective. And we're very proud of the work we do in regional New South Wales.
So Rebecca, you're going to get very close to my community.
Indeed we are, and we're working already in collaboration with the local health district, with Andrew Newton and his team, and they're doing the clinical services planning now and working out what models of care best suit the community, how much of it's done at a hospital, how much of it's done out in the community. And once that process is done, then we look at, well, what are the functional needs of the hospital space and the built form, and where's the best position for that.
Now Sam, the effect in terms of the medical workforce, you've had some experience with Dubbo, with vacancies, but obviously the upgrades to the facilities. At Dubbo, what happened?
Look, at Dubbo, when we completed stages 1 and 2 there a little while ago, and we're doing the next couple of stages there right now, we know the local health district and that hospital have been trying to attract 19 staff specialists in a range of fields. And once they had world-class facilities delivered in their doorstep, they've actually been able to fill those roles.
Well, nothing against Dubbo, but Eurobodalla and the Bega Valley are far prettier places to come and live. I've got a bias, of course. But you know, that's great news for communities because they don't have to travel to Canberra or Sydney, some cases Melbourne. Of course, the two facilities in South East Regional Hospital and the Eurobodalla facility will work together. I'm also very mindful. People have been saying, well, what happens with Batemans Bay and Maruya hospitals? We're not at any decision-making point in relation to those yet. But again, we have seen examples like Panville with the South East Regional Hospital where you can run complementary services. But this is the workplace of our nurses and doctors. And whilst the number one priority is caring for patients, we've got to be mindful that they need the best facilities possible to give the best care possible, and that's the aim.
And look, we know that these are incredible workplaces. There's nearly 140,000 people across New South Wales Health. We have an incredible responsibility to deliver them world-class facilities. We know that the quality of the facilities that people work in make a difference to the clinical care they deliver, and so that's our small part of contributing to patient care. We're very proud of that.
So in terms of timing, next couple of months spent on that extensive work in terms of just building up the service plan, and then obviously working through a process in relation to location, and then of course we potentially go to market for design and build and construct. So in speaking to Andrew Newton, we're obviously going to try and do this at a quick pace. We don't want people continuing to have to travel to Canberra and Sydney for their health services, which we want to obviously build the capacity in at a local level. Michael Holland's very keen to see capacity built in advance of a new hospital being open, because there's got to be a transfer of services. So that goes to some point in relation to the petition that's been signed by thousands of people. So look, I think the key element for our community now is work with the health district, work with Health Infrastructure as we build this facility. We will establish a community reference group, which is independent of politicians like me, but obviously engaging with the experts at a local level on the best way forward. And I guess with every project, there's always unique features around them. So whilst we can talk about 48 regional facilities, there will be unique features in terms of the Eurobodalla.
And I think one of the things which we've been working really closely with communities on is getting different experts from the communities for different aspects of what we're looking at. So it's not just clinical expertise, but it's different community interests which are involved.
Yeah, well, it's exciting. I'm hell-bent on making sure parochialism and politics don't get ahead of the processes. We have a very important process to follow. In terms of the dollars, $150 million, the questions are being asked, is this enough? Well, I've said, we need to ascertain the exact catchment, obviously the size of the facility, and of course we go to market in terms of the construction industry. So, I'd be quietly confident we're pretty much in the ballpark, but of course we've got the ability to step back in from a government perspective. But at this stage, great news, and I look forward to working very closely with you both, but also I know the community are ecstatic, and I know there's some great people with great experience who will work with you into the future. So
fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.